Hi, welcome to my channel, Psychic Kathleen. I'm continuing along today with my project of describing a client coming to see me, the question or concern that they bring forward, cards that I've drawn, and how I interpreted those cards in light of their question and how they've presented themselves. A young woman came to see me today. She's the mother of 3 children. She's married. She is a Gemini, and she had a number of questions. Mostly her focus was on business. She had purchased a business 10 years ago, and the business had never done really well. She felt that she'd spent a lot of time and money to make it a success, but it really had just eaten up an awful lot of money. She really hadn't made any money off it, and she wanted to get out of it. The problem was she was bound by a contract, a lease contract, and so she wondered what I saw for her future. She had a couple of ideas that she'd like to do once she had dealt with the business, and that was sort of something else that we explored together, as well as she had some really great questions about her children. So in terms of the business, I did a general read to look at what she would need to really think about, and it had come up that things would get a lot worse before they would get better, and that had concerned me in the reading. I had said to her I felt she should consider seeing a lawyer right away, and that's often advisable for anybody who's considering becoming a reader in the future, that you remember to refer people to the professionals that they need to see. And in this case, I felt she definitely should consult a corporate lawyer before she proceeded any further with this business. Whether the business would indeed be successful ultimately, no. That had clearly presented an absolute no. The business was looking like it was not going to get better, and she asked me, indeed, should I sort of hold on to it for another 4 years and try and get it to pay me back, or should I just get rid of it now? And that had come up, the 8 of Cups, which, as you can see, the character in the card is walking away. And I said, no, really, your reading has indicated that it's not going to get any better. In fact, it will continue to drain your bank account, and it would, since you're feeling ready to withdraw, this would be a good time to do it. Then we went on to just talking about her children, and we started off with her eldest, and that, interestingly, had also come up, the 8 of Cups, which is emotional withdrawal. And I said, he's withdrawn from something. And she said, yes. We moved him out of the high school he was into a new high school, which is much closer to us. And so that has resulted in some withdrawal from, of course, the kids that he went to school with before. And she said, so yeah, it's had a huge impact on him. And I said, and then the 9 of Wands comes up, and I said, he's in conflict with somebody, and he's feeling really exhausted by it. I said, is that his father? And she said, yes, him and his father are fighting all the time. She said, I'm really quite worried about that. And I said, yeah, I'm afraid, he's a very independent boy. He's 14, but very independent. And this could lead him to actually leaving home early and not completing his schooling, which had affirmed with the Ace of Swords, saying that, yes, that's very likelihood. And she agreed. She said, well, will my marriage make it through that? Because she said, if he leaves home and it's because of a conflict with my husband. I don't know that I would side with my husband. And I said, indeed, that comes up, the Two of Swords, which is saying, not likely. You certainly will feel stay, go, stay, go. So I said it will put your marriage in some crisis where you won't know whether you are going to stay in the marriage or not. And she said, so do you think I will? And that came up, the Nine of Swords. And I said, this is the nightmare card. So obviously this is going to cause you a lot of stress and worry and upset about whether you do want to stay or leave in the marriage. And I said, actually, you know, the cards have not answered a yes or no to that, because this really looks like it's a good couple of years down the road. And I said, you know, it's very difficult to predict outcomes that are a couple of years hence, because free will comes into it. You know, nothing is ground in stone, and the cards clearly don't want to answer a yes or no to that. But it certainly is suggesting that you're heading for a difficult time a couple of years from now. So it was very interesting discussing that together. And I think for her, it isn't clear whether she would in fact stay in this marriage or you know, decide to leave it. She said the marriage wasn't in trouble at this point, not as far as she's concerned, but she certainly was concerned about the conflicts that just kept erupting between her son, her eldest son, and his father. Then she asked about her middle son, and that he came up the Three of Pentacles, which is a planning card. And she said, oh yes, he's planning to be an engineer. He's very set on that. And that came up, the Seven of Swords, which is a bad plan. So I said, there's a couple of things here. The Seven of Swords is like 5 out of 7 pieces are good, and 2 are left behind that could bite you in the future. So I said, basically, there's a couple of aspects to this plan which are not likely to work out as he was hoping. And she said, yeah, she said he loves music, and she said, I have a suspicion that he should be pursuing music. So we discussed that, and I said, now if he pursues music, let's see what the cards have to say about that. And that came up, the Eight of Swords, or Eight of Wands, sorry. And the Eight of Wands says passion, fast-moving, excited passion. Clearly, I said, he's very excited about what he does do in the future, and it's doubtful that it would be engineering. Of course, he's still very young. He's only 12. Highly unlikely that he'll actually pursue that career. Her youngest was a girl, and she came up the Strength card. And I said, she's a very disciplined girl. And she said, she is. She is really hardworking. She's in competitive dance and has excelled in this dance. She's only 9 years old. She's already made a bit of a name for herself as a dancer. And she said, but I'm a little concerned. And I said, yeah, I would be concerned. I think taking that competition energy that she clearly has, maybe redirecting it to something else that is not so outer focused but more inner focused, such as karate or, you know, one of those Eastern disciplines. She said, it's ironic you say that, because I had called about signing her up for karate a couple of weeks ago, and she seemed very excited about that. So her and I, as a client, I have to say we connected amazingly well. There were several times in the reading, such as at one point I said, what needs healing in your life was the Ten of Pentacles, which is a family inheritance card. And I said, do you have sleep apnea? And she said, it's weird you say that, because my husband was just diagnosed with that, and he's got a CPAP machine to help him with his sleep apnea. And she said, that has been affecting my sleep. So we collided on a number of, there were different times when I'd mentioned something and she had thought of it or she pursued it, or so yeah, it was very intriguing. Not all clients connect the same way, and I often point that out to people where they'll come to me and say, I saw a number of readers and none of them were very good. And I said, well, you know, sometimes you have to try a few. It's like counseling. You have to try out a few to find that one that you really resonate with and you really connect with. Not all readers connect with all clients, and that's important to keep in mind. So thank you again for joining me here today. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, and remember to share my videos if you know someone who likes to go for readings or is a reader themselves or is interested in studying the tarot. They may find my videos interesting and helpful. If you want to get in touch with me, the easiest way to do that is to go to my website, it's Tarot by Kathleen, and email me, or my phone number again is easy to find on the internet, my cell phone. Just Google me, a Psychic Kathleen in Victoria, BC, and that will lead you to my websites and ways to contact me. Join me on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. There's other ways that we can connect, and I would welcome that connection. Let me know that you've seen my videos. That's also helpful to know where people are coming in from. So thank you again for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you here again, hopefully soon. Bye for now.